first question is, in our annual report forecast survey, we had more than half of our respondents who rated their primary dealers as excellent or very good when it comes to understanding the technology on machines, but they still lag in their confidence when it comes to dealers being able to partner with them on machine data management. What is CASE doing to support end users in becoming more cost efficient and productive?
That's a good question, Rod. As a manufacturer, we use telematics data in aggregate. And we use that to improve the performance and efficiency of the machines. And this allows us to collect and analyze thousands of hours of data that result in a much different solution from simply observing how an operator would use a machine on a day-to-day basis. So our engineers can consistently monitor how a machine is being used across multiple applications, as a lot of machines have really become tool carriers these days. And we can identify better ways of using that product. The other part of the equation, or one of the other parts of the equation, is the dealer themselves. They can leverage the data that's generated off of telematics to consult with the customer a lot more on their operation. The consultative approach that we're trying to expand on is essentially a benefit to the smaller and mid-sized businesses who may or may not have a dedicated fleet manager. The dealer service department, they can help fill that gap through the data that they collect from the telematics. They can then consult directly with the consumer on service intervals, product needs. If the machine is coding out, they can help them resolve that in the field. And something that you may be aware of is that we started building the foundation of that consultative relationship between the customer and the dealer back when we launched ProCare in 2013. We did that by including advanced telematics subscriptions along with a preventative maintenance campaign for 3 years, as well as adding a 3-year warranty to those pieces of equipment. Another end of the data and precision construction equation is machine control, and that's a lot of people tend to focus on that end of the equation. We've been pretty deliberate in our direction there because we agree with the sentiment of the responses to your survey that a knowledgeable dealer and partner is critical to the success of the machine control deployment. It can't be a one-way relationship. And that knowledgeable dealer becomes a partner. And it's why we've continued to develop precision certified dealerships so that they have hands-on knowledge of not just how to bolt a system to a machine, but how to actually utilize it. And they, in that way, become a more valued partner to the customer. So we've developed this phased-in approach by showing customers how they could utilize a 2D system coming in at a very modest level with a 2D system and gradually working their way into more sophisticated 3D systems as they learn how those systems can be a benefit to their operations and to their businesses overall. So starting small and building on that technology use, we feel is a sound approach to future growth within that segment.
Okay, thank you. Our survey also suggests that next year, 2019, will continue to be strong across most construction markets. So the question is, how are you preparing for 2019?
Well, one of the biggest parts for us, obviously, is in the production and inventory part of the equation. We play a big role as a manufacturer, obviously, and it's really focusing on our ability to respond to the marketplace. So our manufacturing team, we have responding directly, as we've experienced this year, in responding to that increased demand. One of the ways we've been able to do that is leveraging on the world-class manufacturing initiatives and streamlining the operation and the quality of the machine as it comes out the other end. One of the examples of that more recently is our Burlington facility. We've been working all year to improve our lead times, and we've been able to shorten that by up to 60 days here. And that's in direct response to customer and dealer requirements and demand. The other end of it, obviously, is by introducing new and exciting models to the marketplace that the market demands. A good example of that is the fast-growing product category of CTLs. It's experiencing unbridled growth, and we're going along with it. And a prime example is the introduction of the TV450 on the larger end of the CTL scale. That trend is moving, and it's moving rapidly at the top end of the scale, and we're positioned well to serve it. And all I could say is stay tuned. There's more to come on that front. So.
Okay, great. We also see, though, some potential headwinds. You mentioned lead times. We are seeing increasing equipment prices, which are, we all know the reasons behind that, but we're also seeing some backlogs in orders, at least we're hearing about it. And then there's also the lack of a sustained federal flow of money for infrastructure. So what likelihood does Case see in these sort of headwinds playing out, and how are you preparing to address them in 2019?
Well, overall, we're very optimistic about 2019. We've already experienced some of the headwinds. They've already played out this year, as we've seen with tariffs. But the demand for equipment and service continues to be strong. We expect that demand curve over 2019 should stay pretty consistent and strong throughout the year. And we're going to see it in not only fleet renewals, but also product turnovers. Really, we're looking beyond 19. We're looking forward to 2020 now. And while we remain optimistic about 2020 and beyond, particularly about the economy in general, there are some important factors that we need to focus on, such as the current trade environment, the rising cost of funds that directly impacts housing starts, and looming large, of course, as well, are the 2020 elections. One thing we're certain of is that what happens over the next few months is going to have a direct impact on the economy, more likely in 2020. So I guess the other part of your question was really about infrastructure. And regarding infrastructure, we're a major proponent of infrastructure investment, both on the federal and the local level. We introduced the Dire States program 4 years ago, and we did that to create awareness around what we can do to directly impact in areas that are often neglected by federal programs. So our Dire States grant helped stimulate local infrastructure investment, and we do that by showing municipalities that smaller local investments are feasible. They're absolutely feasible. And when together we think creatively about different funding solutions, we can drive positive change in local infrastructures. So a sustainable funding model at the federal level, yes, it's absolutely critical for long-term health of the nation's infrastructure. But really, we don't want to sit on our hands expecting some large industry spike based on large federal spending. We believe that a fully funded federal infrastructure bill is only part of it. We want to focus instead on projects and more local infrastructure investments that can drive a more consistent growth in the industry over a longer term.